Today is still December 19th, 2023. Oh my God. Oh my God. I went over and had dinner with my son. Okay. Some of my old furniture's in there. And we got to talking. He said, I don't understand that. He said, I asked him, what is this girl? Some kind of mail order bride. Okay. And who the heck would want to meet somebody they've never even met? He said, that's crazy. And they were talking to get married that, and he hadn't even met her. He said he went over there. He said, and then I got to thinking, well, she wants her citizenship, and that's why she wants to marry him. She wants to come be a U.S. citizen. That's why she wants to marry him. Right? He said, but no, soon as they got married, they got back here. She got him out of the country really quick. And he was acting erratic when they left. And I said, was he still in Japan or what? He said, Mom, they were supposed to hit Japan, then go to the Philippines. He said, honestly, I've not physically talked to him since he left. That was almost 30 days ago. No contact. For they'll lure you out of state and kill you. Dave's one of the real targets. He tells everybody how much he's worth with those life insurance policies. It's his own fault for being part of this. Stuff like that. People around me. He's actually one of the real targets. And then you got to think. Okay? They got doctors involved. The doctor wants to know how much she weighs. Does she have any bad habits? How tall? They were profiling people. They're serial killers. Black market. I told you. Even my friend that has a friend on the police department thought they were black marketing organs. That's why they care if you have a habit. How much you weigh, see if your organs are pliable. Dave's not been in contact with anybody in 30 days. Even if he's in the Philippines, they still have phones, and he could reverse the charges and do an international call. He could get a hold of him through Facebook or anything. Nothing. He said, Mom, it's crazy, him wanting to go over there. I said, well, you know Aunt Rose. My brother was married to Rose. She was from the Philippines when she was younger. And she's talked about them eating dog and everything else. He said, I even told him, there's nothing to eat over there. You got to eat da-da-da-da. He said he wasn't listening. Huh? And he said he's nuts to want to even go over there and live. Okay. With the drugs they give you, you're sleepwalking 4 to 6 hours. And with him acting erratically, how much you want to bet they drugged him? Because he wasn't acting like him. But you're sleepwalking. They're roofies. They're their own cook, basically mix of roofies. I told you, I worked at Ohio Catholic Bank in the call center in the basement. I walked upstairs and I went to come around the managers to the office. I could hear them complaining. They said that she's an FBI informant. She's helping on a case, and we're not allowed to say anything to her. We got her drug test back, and it had Valium and about 3 or 4 other drugs. Their own homemade roofies that make you sleepwalk. And he's complaining. And he said, we're not allowed to say a word. And I thought, oh my God, they used what? See, the police know what they used on me to make me sleepwalk. Their own concoction of roofies. See where they're fake sodium pentothal reports? You're sleepwalking with roofies. With no memory. Now, you guys all know about the 1960s, the LSD, hippies taking them, freaking out. They'd either kill themselves, people got taken, people got raped. They didn't know what happened to them. That's what they do with the date rape drugs. They slip into women, or they put them in a needle and they inject them real quick. And then within a few minutes, you're under their control with no memory. My neighbor, Mike, came up to me about a year and a half ago, told me, I got a problem. I went, what's that? He's like, I don't know how I got home. I'm like, go sleep it off. He's like, you don't understand. I've been sitting there for hours. I'm like, what do you remember? The second beer. I'm like, go sleep it off. He's like, you don't understand. I got $80 in my pocket. I'm like, check your bank. He did what I told him to. He's like, I took 100 out. But what was in the box with mustard, and how did I change my shoes? And I'm like, oh my God, they've roofied him. Like, where are you lost hours? and I didn't see her talk to anybody. I'm like, go sleep it off. He looked at me. I used to be a New York cop, and you're pretty. I'm like, you really need to sleep that off. I told him later on that he told me he was a New York cop. He said, I don't remember saying that, and I've never been a New York cop. I could have told him to say or do anything, he would have done it. My coworker, Dar, I was training her at this one client's. I looked out, and there's a guy sitting out there. I said, who is that? He said, well, we're only friends. But I had a set of twins, and one died. I was grieving really hard. My friends got a babysitter for the surviving twin, took me out for a night while I'm sitting over there crying. They gave me space, and I ordered a drink. And she said, I have no memory of this. I took one drink, and I acted a little happy. Sitting there talking and acting normal. A group of people they didn't know came up and were talking to me because I was acting normal, and when I left with them, they didn't think anything of it. I found myself in a puddle of pee. She said, I don't even remember meeting them. I got myself home, and the next day I was throwing up, dizzy, and sick, and really messed up. And she said 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant again. And I'm arguing with the doctor. How could I be pregnant? I've not had sex with anybody. She said, it's not that I don't love my son, but I don't know what happened to me. They're date rape drugs. You're sleepwalking. I've talked to several sheriffs and officers. A criminal attorney, you are very much sleepwalking with date rape drugs under somebody else's control. Okay? For 4 to 6 hours. They all know about them. They're horrible. My one friend, I was talking to him, he said, my one neighbor woke up and some naked man was walking around her apartment. Around her home. She called 911, the police showed up, and the guy's standing there talking, doesn't even realize he's naked. And he's in the wrong house. And can you imagine some crackhead doing that, and he's really insulting him? Somebody had roofied him. He didn't even know where he was. See what I mean? I bet that for him to act erratic, him not to care, where they've always said Dave was one of the main targets. Think about it. I hate these people. I hate these people. If Dave just wanted a divorce, he should have divorced me and go off with younger women. But he got messed up in the drug cartels. And there's a good chance it cost him his life. See, where even the police that watch me, we've already figured Dave's one of the main targets. But he knows with being messed up with those people, they were killers. He hasn't even contacted his son in a month that he's okay or where he's living. Why wouldn't you contact your son? Even through Facebook, use a phone, do an international call. Nothing. I told you, there's a good chance he's dead. That's why you don't tell people how much you're worth on life insurance policies. That you don't know. Because they'll kill you for that money and destroy anybody else out of your life. You know, my son told me, he said, you know, after you get so old, you think people would just be happy they're married and finish living out their life. Now the life, you know, of who they're married with. I don't understand these senior citizens going out and trying to find these alternative lives at the last part. I said, I think it's the life they always wanted to try. It's their last chance to do it. He said, but they usually do that when they're, I said 40. He said, yeah, they call it midlife crisis. I said, now it's like a senior citizen's crisis. I'm telling you, I bet he was drugged because he was acting erratic. Because see, when you're not acting like yourself, that's where I told you, even people have said around me, do you realize where she did that tape of them saying she was showering in another room? If it really would have happened, people would have called 911 because that's a medical episode. Somebody's having a seizure, a stroke. They're drugged. They've hit their head. Some hot reason they're delusional. And they don't know what's wrong with them and where they're at. And they're not thinking clearly, and that's a medical emergency. Because if you just start washing yourself in another room and you're just acting like you're doing it for no reason, then that's a medical emergency. I knew of this one girl, how they found out she had diabetes. She was a sweet little girl. And she loved her baby dolls and all this stuff. Parents went in, she was ripping their heads off, beating them and destroying her baby dolls that she loved. And she was hateful and hurting things and just breaking things. They rushed her to the emergency room. What on earth is wrong with our child? Her sugar was so high she was hospitalized. They didn't even know she was a diabetic. That's how they found out. She was losing it mentally because her sugar was too high. See what I mean? It becomes a medical emergency. I take care of people with Alzheimer's. And I've taken care of family members, even on Dave's side, that had Alzheimer's. His dad's tried to go to the bathroom in the middle of the living room. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I got to pee. I said, you go in the bathroom. I am. He didn't even know it was in the living room. See what I mean? But his was explainable. Why? Because he had Alzheimer's. See what I mean? But somebody would be delusional doing that. Everybody's like you. It would be a 911 call. And people would have called 911. They would have realized there was something medically wrong with her. And that's why it's photoshopped by my ex-husband's girlfriend, Michelle, her dad, and the drug cartel and this extortion scheme. If I didn't die, they thought they could scare me into blah, blah, blah with the date rape, drug confessions, breaking in, roofing me, leaving me beaten, bruised, infected. It's a extortion scheme. Drugs, kidnapping, human trafficking, run scams. It's the M13 drug cartel, the Mexican drug cartel, the Detroit Boys, the Florida group. It involved all the other drug cartels. Got the Kingsman from Texas, the fentanyl king. You do realize it was on Google that the M13 Mexican drug cartel has hacked our government into the witness protection programs, and they are live streaming them. I'm not the only case. We'll sold the login. We'll sold the login for $25 a pop. The agent over my case, the one that walked out of McDonald's, December 14th, 23, on North Main, screamed it out that he set me up for Dave. And he stole my money in front of all those cops, and they recorded it. Somebody get an arrest warrant for him? Where they said he's an idiot and he's stealing her money. And the idiot he thinks he's so unstoppable, he was out confessing in front of the cops. It's like he's daring him. Oh, remember the two blonde girls? The one's Lauren, the heavyset blonde girl, and the one lost the weight. Well, I went with my client to Red Lobster today. She pulled up and looked at me. Told you they're still watching me. She's part of the M13 big truck guys, Florida group, human traffickers. Even people around me, it's not even funny, they said they'd steal for her. But they all said they were stealing for her. And then it comes down to where I walked in Kohl's, the two women walking out. They got cameras in there with audio. That girl showed up and told everybody not to say anything. Will's been stealing for her because she told him she didn't have anything. That doesn't make it right, honey. And she's a child molester and a serial killer. What are human traffickers? They sell women and children for sex slaves and to be murdered. She's a child molester and a serial killer. You put those people in jail. You don't steal money from them. And, even on the weirdest chance you're a good person, you're poor, and you need money. You feel bad for the person when you do. Give them money. Go out and get a loan and help them. You go to churches, charities, and you have them take up money and help them, right? You do the legal, honest, good way. You go online, go GoFundMe pages, you go to work, take up money for them, do raffles, bake sales. You do it the honest way, and you get them money. You don't steal from rape and human trafficking victims and steal from the government unless you're a crook. You guys, he's been buffling all you people. He can't ask people to stay quiet. He's only a higher law enforcement, criminal attorney, police department, Department of Justice, and the Constitution, the freedom of speech. It takes a judge to put a gag order on you. He was only bullying me. He thinks you guys are so stupid idiots. He can say whatever he wants, and you believe that he's God over the United States, and he's nothing but a crook scamming you. Well, he's stealing from victims, and since they're in all these other witness protection programs, he's selling all those people out to the drug cartels to kill them, to live stream, like mine. Turn them in. Go online. Ladies showed up the other day. We've been getting phone calls that one of our guys are selling technology. I told them that years ago. People are finally getting tired of Will selling people out. Turn him in. Enough people have died because of him. Another FBI agent just went to jail for selling technology to the Russians. These people are selling it to the Mexican drug cartel to kill, rape, and destroy U.S. citizens. He's more evil. Turn him in. They already got his confession.